Alright, thanks for joining me today. This video is Time to Experiment, the principle of cause and effect. So I usually do these outside, but this was kind of a darker day, and I wanted to do it Friday. I wanted to do it today and get it out. So I'm doing it inside by the fire, by the Christmas cactus. So she's actually giving me her second bloom this season. And I think it's because I fed it some raw milk a couple weeks ago, and now it's blooming again. So any gardener tip, feed your plants raw milk if you got it. They love it. Now this is a great talk here. It's a Hermetic teaching about cause and effect. So every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for a law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Nothing is random or accidental. All things are intelligently designed. You always have a choice, whether you know it or not. So an example, because I'm basically saying with this teaching, no accidents, no randomness, everything, it can be explained, everything is consciously put forward in this realm. So an example, let's say we have a hillside, we have a boulder on the hillside, and I could decide to build below that boulder on the hillside or not. But let's say I do. I choose to build my house where there could be a boulder that comes and hits it one day, and maybe it would slide down and happen one day. But what you should know is that boulder would not have slid down the hill and hit the cabin on any accident. You have to realize that the rain will come. It will erode the soil around that boulder. Over time, the boulder is just going to get loose and loose. Where people could think, oh, I got hit by this boulder. It was some random accident. It was, I didn't deserve this. It was really, you weren't paying attention. You didn't realize that there's a cause, behind things. They have their effect. So it's a real thing. We're not random animals. There's no accidental explosion that made all this, okay? It's all intelligently designed. So there are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. All causes come from the mind or from unseen forces. So you have to consciously think things through to have them be created here in this plane. In other words, all causes are willful choices which have an outcome or effect. Again, no random anything in any of our lives. We've always had a choice. The effects are what we see and experience in the phenomenal plane. Each cause or choice you make has a future effect, and so on and so on and so on. So each choice you make every day is going to set your future on a certain path. It's like ripples in a vast body of water. It's gonna keep going. Like the snowball effect, a tiny snowball on the top of the hill is gonna roll into a big one. These choices or causes that we make affect us down the road, whether we see it or not. Slow down and stop automatically reacting to situations. The knee-jerk reaction a lot of us have. Take Pavlov's dogs as a classic example. Every time the bell rung, the dogs would salivate. whether there's food or not. They just reacted. The dog can't think. It's just hungry because you've trained it with a bell that it's going to be fed every time. So keep that in mind, that you could be trained. You can be conditioned. We all are conditioned in a lot of ways. When you're conditioned, it can lead to emotional slavery. So this is where you don't have control of your emotions. Somebody can walk up to you, say something to you, and trigger a lot of things inside you to where you have no control. You're just going to react, in anger, maybe in happiness. You can react in happiness, but just be weary of all the angry stuff, that people trigger inside of you. A word can trigger you. Maybe a person can trigger you. You need to not allow that. You need to realize that you're causing those emotions inside yourself. It's not the person, it's not the word, it's you reacting to what they're saying or doing. Now I'm going to get a little dark here. Got to talk about the television and how the television reinforces this emotional bondage. And the current topic is Israel and the war in Gaza, which it's not a war, it's just a slaughter of innocent children, if you're really paying any attention to it. I get my information from Max Egan, okay? So everybody's like, how do you get the truth? Well, this guy, Max Egan, he's actually visited Gaza. He's talked to the people there. Year in the past. He's not there now, of course. It's gone. It's leveled. There's it's ridiculous how much they've destroyed that place with all the children that have died there. But I get my information from Max Egan on Israel, as I call it, because they're creating hell over there. They're using a book and a bunch of propaganda on the television to make people emotionally react, when you should really think it through and not just jump on one side or the other, So this whole situation is a great example of cause and effect, right? So, supposedly Hamas attacks Israel, and then Israel responds. And now, the U.S. is getting involved, and we have our airmen ready to go bomb children. So, that has caused the 25-year-old airman Aaron Bushnell of San Antonio to self-immolate. So you can see how this war, as they call it, the slaughter, it's caused a 25-year-old guy in the military to set himself on fire and kill himself, chanting "Free Palestine, Free Palestine," because he doesn't see the honor in flying over children and bombing them, right? He was about to be sent to go slaughter kids and stuff. So he said, "Man, I got to do something about this. I got to say something." And it's like, geez, so the cause of all this, it caused a man to set himself on fire because of the darkness he saw in it all. I'm not saying do any of that. It's stupid. He should have spoke up or something, but he spoke up in his way. All right, everybody's got their own choices here. So this slaughter, it's also causing all of Palestine to unite against Israel, which is going to cause more suicide bombings in the West. As all of our countries sit around and support a mass slaughter, right? We're just sitting around, and all the countries are sending their money, and you're being told that they're not people, right? They're like animals that just need to be exterminated. So you can see a whole cause and effect pattern that gets into place with these kind of situations. So we'll be bombed, we'll be suicide bombed in the future. What do you think all these migrants and all this open border stuff is about? They're planting all these seeds for their causes and effects of the future. No randomness. There's no accident here. And then once the West, has a bunch of suicide bombs going off, well, then the media and the president is going to say, hey, we need to attack the Middle East now. We got to settle these people down. So it will give them an excuse to attack Iran, which has been their target since 9/11. Which, if we attack Iran, Russia's going to defend Iran. So that cause and effect would move us into World War III. Which, I gotta say it, World War III has been planned for over a century. You can look up the letter from Albert Pike, a Freemason. They planned these events out. They planned World War I, they planned World War III. They're trying to get us all to go into the next one, and it seems like they're getting us there. So this all goes back to nothing is random. This has all been planned out. You can see how cause and effect are used to methodically plan out future events. Current wars would not be possible without past wars and divisions. What's going on in the Middle East wouldn't be possible unless 9/11 happened. 9/11 couldn't have happened unless JFK was assassinated. There is a cause and effect to all of this. That it takes a... These things have to be done to take us in a certain direction. There was no accident, and there isn't an accident in the future. It's all purposely planned. These governments love to have two sides, and then one side's dropping the ball, then the other side dropped. They're all just accidentally, they're screwing it up, and we're all losing our freedom. There's no accident. It's all planned. You really just need to pay more attention and stop letting your emotions force you into one side or the other like an animal. Animals take sides, and they're tribal, and they fight over the watering hole. Humans, we can talk. It's just ridiculous to see the world in this state. It shouldn't be this way. But, yeah, some people call it the Hegelian dialect, problem, reaction, solution. It's kind of another way to phrase it. But, all right, now it's time for a happier example of cause and effect, right? Each day I awake and go outside, I hear the birds chirping. I whistle back to them. They get louder and whistle back to me. Starting my day out with the little birdies around the cabin just always reminds me of the beauty we could have here. These birds have had an effect on me. Let me tell you. And I feed them seeds. I give them seeds in the winter. So it's like I'm helping them get by, and then they're helping me wake up in the morning in the right ways, in the happier ways. Not some alarm going off, but a beautiful sound to get me going. I am at peace and harmony with nature here. And we don't even have to talk about it, right? The birds get it, the chipmunks get it. We don't even have the ability to talk to these animals, yet we can be at peace with them. And it just confuses me why humans can't talk it out. I mean, I understand why the animals, they're like eating each other constantly, and there's all this crazy stuff going on, so they're going to be skeptical of anything, right? But I can get along with animals, but I can't get along with a lot of humans here because of their beast-like nature. But they've chosen to take that on. You've been taught your entire life that everything is separate, when in reality, everything is connected. Realize you have a choice. Each choice you make is the next cause you make. These causes or choices have an effect on everyone around you. I say this because I want to see all wars end and peace restored to the realm. It can only be done if a majority of us do the inner work. Simply put, don't get involved in separations. Don't join any of these false sides here, because there really is no side. We are all connected. We should all be loving and happy and helping each other any way we can here. Only put energy into things that will unite us all to be free again, not with force or belief. We must be truthful within ourselves and without. No phony baloney hypocrisy anymore. Just a sense of oneness with your brothers and sisters here. And I really feel like the best way to connect with somebody, sit in a room, look in each other's eyes silently. No words, don't think. Really, just stare deep into somebody's eyes. I would love for world leaders, right? Or people that have a division, like a Jew, and a Palestinian person, to sit there, just look each other in the eye silently and really think if you do have a difference, if there is a reason to hurt each other, It's when we just talk and point and use our head constantly. It just goes so awry here. So you just got to keep using your heart. Using your heart, connect with as many people as you can. Be a uniter. Unite us. It's what we need right now. We don't need any more divisions. We don't need any more people thinking they're important and they have the solution. I don't have the solution. I'm just saying, it's each of us needs to put in the effort towards the correct solution, because it seems like we're not getting there right now. That's why I hope these videos have some cause and effect, in the scheme of things. So it's a powerful teaching if you truly take it to heart. All right, love you all. Enjoy.